Listen up and settle down. I'm here to give you a full card breakdown for UFC Paris this week. If you guys want to lock it the fuck in, go to we1picks.com. Become a premium member today. It's only $10 a month. And we killed it last week. What was it last week? Of course it wasn't last week because we had a great week for UFC China, so they gave us a bye week to cool us off. Newsflash, ain't gonna fucking work, sweetheart. Let's lock it in. Full card breakdown starts right now. Oh, by the way, like the video. Subscribe if you are new. Let's lock it in. First fight of the night, we got Shauna Bannon versus Sam Page Hughes. Sam Page Hughes is my girl. Former lock of the week. The first time ever in her career that she will be a favorite in a fight. Should dominate this fight. What is a side-kicking karate bullshit of Shauna Bannon? Get the fuck out of here. Sam's going to get in her face, box her up, take her down, mount her, TKO or submit her, whatever it's going to happen. Play Sam Hughes inside the distance and make millions of dollars. And just watch the rest of the card and have some fun. It's going to be Sam Hughes by a mile. Rinat versus Andreas. This one should be a fucking barn burner. Back and forth. I know a lot of people like Andreas in this one, and I'm going to go with him as well. The tenacity, the relentlessness. But I will say, if he comes in and gets a little bit too wild, a little bit too wild. We know he's going to be wild, but this guy Rinat is going to be the more technical striker and knows he's coming in hot and heavy. Look for those uppercuts, those big shots, but I expect Andreas to do what everyone expects him to do, which is a little bit of a red flag when everybody feels like it's on that side and he's only a little bit of a favorite. Come in, push the pace, grind, and Rinat will start to wear down, but I'm not playing this. I'm staying. Andreas just way too sloppy for me. As a pick, I got to go Andreas. That dude is fucking relentless in the tattoos. Oh my God, how beautiful. But I am staying away from this one. Andreas is going to be the pick. Brad Tavares versus Robert. I know Robert came in against my guy Ihor and looked a little bit lost out there, but Ihor is actually a pretty good striker. Bouncy in and out. The stance is a little bit weird. Quick with the hands. Brad Tavares is not that guy. When I saw these odds and Brad was like a minus 250, I'm like, what the fuck am I missing here? I'm going to take this guy Robert Bryczek. One more shot. Brad Tavares, I know he's a durable guy. He can grind this fight. If he comes in and wins and looks minus 200, I'm not going to be crazy surprised. But as a pick, I like this guy Robert to have a much more tailor-made matchup for him. A more stationary guy to land the big shots. I could see him hurting Brad early. If Brad survives, it probably turns into a Brad fight. But I like this guy to land the shots early and look like the guy he should look like with all those knockouts, all those first-round finishes. I don't love it. I'm not playing it. As a pick, I think he looks much better than Ihor fight, and Brad Tavares is what he is at this point. Durable, underrated power. Got some wrestling as well, but I'm going to take a shot on Robert Bryczek here to look much better against a more stationary opponent. Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. We have the yin and yang of these two tall-ass motherfucking welterweights. Who is going to prevail in this one? I will say I like Trey Waters. Nice stiff jab. Guy slows down. When he starts slowing down, he starts dropping his hands. And against these smaller welterweights, he can kind of get away with the kind of leaning back and ducking away and withstand the pressure of these smaller guys. But this guy, Sam Patterson, I gave him shit. I was all over him at the Apex. That last fight versus left-handed god, Danny Borralho, I was like, yeah, Danny, just hit. He knows how to fall down. Just hit him with anything. And Danny's stalking him down, and his friends are saying, either like, turn around and give me dirty looks. And Sam, to his credit, beat fire with fire, and it was the speed that made the difference in that fight, beat him to the punch. When he knocked out Danny Borralho, his whole crew walked by me and stared me down. I was like, hey, nice job, guys. Hey, nice job, guys. I think the speed is going to be the biggest difference here. I know Sam Patterson's been chin. Trey Waters isn't like the most powerful guy in the world. It's more of like a distance with the jab, keep things close. I like Sam Patterson to maybe not mixing a takedown or two, but show some level changes, but it's going to be the hand speed that should make the difference here. Give me Sam Patterson to get it done. Axel Sola versus Rhys Skeletor McKee. You know this guy Rhys McKee is going to be a fucking durable son of a bitch. I don't want to fucking jinx it, but he has shown time and time again he is a durable son of a bitch when he's not fighting fucking Chimaev. And in this fight, we got this guy, Axel, who wants to go to the wrestling, who is a little bit short notice. Rhys McKee's been training to be on this card for 12 weeks. Look at his Instagram. It's like, people say it's not short notice. I've been training. I've been mixing up opponents. Now he's got Axel, who is a 155er coming up. wants to get to the wrestling. In the striking, he's probably going to have the speed advantage versus Rhys. But what I don't love about the striking of Axel is there's not a lot of head movement. What he does a lot of times is stay on the center line and just go straight backwards. He gets straight on that center line and he just goes straight backwards. And that's an issue when you're up in weight against this tall-ass Rhys McKee. He might not be the fastest guy in the world, but he is rangy, and he can throw and kind of touch you at the end of those really long shots. And if you're a smaller guy, used to fighting smaller guys, and you're going straight back on the center line, that could be a big problem against taller opponents. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the takedowns versus Rhys, who has really improved his takedown defense and even offensive wrestling himself. Looks like he's been working hard. That height, when you're up against the fence, trying to get those single legs or those doubles makes it real difficult. And if this turns into a complete striking match, I'll take the guy that's been working on this card for 12 weeks, the longer ranger striker. Axel's going to have the speed advantage, but I think the height and the length is going to be an issue. Give me Rhys Skeletor McKee to get this done. Marcin Tybura versus Ante. What the fuck is his last name? This guy has one goal in mind. It is to stalk, throw big shit, to try to get the takedowns, to get this guy to the ground and pound a guy like Marcin Tybura. Marcin Tybura's been there, done that, has all the advantages in the world, in my opinion. He's going to be maybe not the more orthodox striker, but probably even, it's weird to say that Marcin Tybura is going to be the more technical striker, but he should be able to withstand the telegraph takedowns of a guy like Ante. And even if Ante gets him down, Marcin Tybura is very capable on the ground, unless he's fighting like high level dudes, to be able to withstand the craziness and then come through in the second round and start implementing his game plan. Third round, start implementing his game plan. I actually like this spot a lot for a guy like Marcin Tybura. Level of competition much higher, very good on the ground, unorthodox striker. This guy Ante is just kind of a bully, and I don't think he's going to bully a guy like Marcin Tybura, who's been there, done that. Give me Tybura to get it done. Oumar Sy versus Brendson Ribeiro. You guys want to trust Oumar Sy? Fucking go for it. What do I give a fuck? Not going to be me. If I got to take one guy, here's what's going to happen. Oumar Sy is going to be diving at legs, 10, 12, 13, 14 minutes of control, try to get a submission win. He's going to try to bounce back in front of the home fans and just front a bitch out, just like a fucking Frenchie. There's one person that's coming into this fight to actually fucking fight, and that is Brendson Ribeiro. That's why he's going to be my pick. Is he going to get taken down and try to hit a Kimura sweep and not be able to hit it and probably give us back and maybe get submitted or maybe get TKO? That could happen. That probably is going to happen. That's what the odds tell you is going to happen. But two of these guys are entering the cage. One is there to fucking fight and finish the fight. And I'm going to take that guy almost every single fucking time. Give me Brendson Ribeiro to throw some wild shit, to scramble hard, to make this guy work. And if this guy Oumar Sy decides in front of the French crowd, I don't want to be the boring wrestler, I want to strike with this guy, yeah, he might knock out Ribeiro. But if he fucking doesn't, this guy Ribeiro's going to be there. He's going to be swinging wild shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if he hurts this guy's side. The crowd, oh my God. What's a fucking French? Oh my God. Oh, French. Oh my God. Yeah, he's fucking getting over. Give me Brendson Ribeiro to get it done. William Gomis versus Robert Ruchala. This guy Robert's good. This is a bad matchup for Robert. I'm taking William Gomis. I've had my ups and downs with William Gomis, former lock of the week back in the day. I loaded up against Hyder. He didn't quite get the job done. They're almost kind of mirror images of each other as far as the striking goes. Whoever is moving forward in this fight is going to say a lot. And I think it's going to be Robert. And if it is Robert, it is going to be a typical William Gomis fight of him dancing on the outside, landing the shots, circle out, pop, 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 back it up against the fence, dancing around, pop, 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 big strikes. But these guys strike very, very similar. Kicks, punches, everything. I believe that even in a fight that William is backing up, that he's going to be the more cleaner, dynamic, more powerful striker. But I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest if William Gomis is backing up for 15 minutes, Robert's following him for 15 minutes, and now we have another situation where we're watching a William Gomis fight, and we're like, ugh. I think he won, right? And it's like fucking, it seems like he won the second, the third. I mean, it seems like he won we might be doing some mental math on this one. But William Gomis is the better striker. And it should be a mostly striking match, unless William wants to throw in some wrestling for whatever reason. I don't know. Should be a mostly striking match. I assume that Robert's going to be pushing forward. William's going to be doing his counter-striking thing. I got to take the better striker in a better striking matchup. William Gomis gets it done. Patricio Pitbull versus Losene Kita. Don't know if I'm getting that name right. This guy's good. I'm not going to deny the abilities of Losene Kita. Good striker, really sits on stuff, can knock pretty much anybody out. I think this is I don't want to say a tailor-made matchup. This feels like a good matchup for Pitbull. Pitbull against Yair, who was dancing around, doing the kicks and stuff. Couldn't really find him, couldn't really get anything going. And I warned everybody. I had Pitbull versus Dan Ige. I said, that's not who Pitbull was. That was a bad matchup for him. Dan Ige is a good matchup for him. And while this guy is more dynamic than a Dan Ige, he's going to bring the fight to Pitbull. Pitbull likes to counter-strike, use your aggression to set up those takedowns. That's what you saw against Dan Ige. Dan Ige would start striking, pop, 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 takedown, boom. And if you're taking a guy like Dan Ige down and controlling him, and now you're against this kickboxer, this guy Kita, and people are going to say, oh, he's got good takedown defense. Not against a guy like Pitbull. Like, you don't know until you know, and we're going to know if this guy is real or not. I think this is really, if he comes in and dominates Pitbull, I'll be pretty impressed. But I think this is a good matchup for Pitbull. A guy that's going to swing, that you can counter-strike off of, that you can get takedowns on and get control. If Pitbull gets this guy down, I don't know if he's getting back up. So I got to take Pitbull against a guy that's coming in, throwing heavy. When Pitbull wants to counter-strike and wants to time takedowns off aggression, it seems like a good matchup for Pitbull. I'm fully aware of, like, people hate Pitbull. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I'm going to take Pitbull. Had him against Dan. I'm taking him here. Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. I'm taking Modestas. But doesn't it just feel like he's the type of guy that gets taken down and submitted by Paul Craig? Minus 300, minus 350 for Modestas. Pretty much anybody at 205 at this point should be a minus 300 versus Paul Craig. You paint your face. You rip your shirt off, you get in people's face, and then when the fight starts, you just back up against the fence, and you look scared, and you throw bullshit strikes, and then you're just trying to pull guard. I will give him credit. Against Borralho in Atlanta, I was at that fight. Crazy fight. Insane. He was shooting actual takedowns. He wasn't getting them, but that was the first time I've really seen Paul Craig commit to, like, halfway, like, real takedowns. And if he does that against Modestas, this just feels like it's going to be one of those fights where it's like Paul Craig just back it up, randomly shoots. Modestas like accidentally trips and falls down because he's Modestas Bukauskas. All of a sudden, Paul Craig's on top of him, and this guy just gets fucking submitted, and everyone's parlays are fucking toast. I can't pick Paul Craig. I'm not picking Paul Craig. Modestas should be able to keep this standing and knock this guy out. That's all you got to do. Just keep it standing. But there's something about Modestas that just screams that he accidentally falls down or he follows Paul Craig to the ground for no reason and gets submitted. I'm going Modestas. We'll see what happens. Borralho versus Mason Jones. Mason Jones. If you guys don't know that name, he came back to the UFC and beat up a Jeremy Stephens, but did he actually beat him up? A little history here. Mason Jones is the victim to the greatest lock of the week win of all time. Ludovic Klein was plus 375 versus Mason Jones. I had Ludovic Klein as my lock of the week. Mason Jones is a fucking hittable fucking dude. Tough son of a bitch. Tough son of a bitch, has pretty good offensive striking, has some takedowns. This guy came in and fought a guy, Jeremy Stephens, who hasn't fought MMA in I don't know how many years, isn't the most dynamic person in the entire world, was doing just nonsense, bare knuckle stuff, boxing, all this stuff. And he had to wrestle to win because he was getting the fuck beat out of him by fucking Jeremy Stephens. By fucking Jeremy Stephens. Now he's going to come in. And I have to imagine he's going to try to wrestle Oki. And if he gets early takedowns, he can probably control this fight. If he gets an early takedown, he'll take the pop out of Oki's shots, and then he can start doing his durability stuff, get beat up until he can get his next takedown, and that's how he's going to win the fight. But if you're getting the fuck beat out of you, and you have to kind of panic wrestle fucking Jeremy Stephens, and now you're a favorite against this guy Borralho, I'm taking a fucking dog here. I'm taking the better striker in a mostly striking matchup. Not saying that Mason doesn't have good striking. Good offensive striking, but his defensive striking is so fucking lackluster. And Borralho, to his credit, he came back, won a good fight in his last fight. Not the greatest competition. I know the fucking, what's his name? The fucking where he jumped into the guillotine. Lapse of judgment there, obviously. But Oki should be the better striker. He sits on stuff a little bit too much. This could be a volume situation where Mason kind of just drowns with the volume. But this guy Mason gets fucking hit. When people say you're tough, it's because you get the fuck beat out of you. And if you're getting the fuck beat out of you by Jeremy Stevens and you have to go to the wrestling, I'm going to take my guy Oki to get it done. Benoit Saint Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. A lot of people are going to be very strong on either side here, and I get it. Oh, who's Ruffy really fought? BSD's going to take him down and maul him. Oh, BSD's chinny now. Ruffy's going to... I'll tell you this. I like Ruffy. I actually went into the film study looking for a reason to side with the BSD people. And obviously, if he's able to just kind of just march through the striking and get the takedowns, it is what it is. Here's what I'll compare it to. When Sean O'Malley was fighting Aljo, I said, Aljo's entries are fucking sloppy as fuck, his hands are low, and Sean is going to knock him out with the right hand in the second round. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. When you're watching BSD, this dude gets fucking lit up. Even when he is winning a fight with the grappling, and he goes into the next round, he gets so excited to get another takedown, he just fucking drops his hands. He drops his hands and just kind of, he's like throwing like just weird shit from his hips to try to get to the clinch, to try to get these takedowns. Against these high-level counter strikers, it just doesn't fucking work. You're gonna get hit, and if he's able to walk through those shots and get takedowns, obviously he can win the fight. There's a reason why Ruffy isn't a fucking minus 500, minus 600 favorite. But when you have an active... Let me minus the active. When you have an accurate striker like Ruffy with the power against the guy with his hands low that needs to close the distance to get into that range to try to get those takedowns, it just seems like a recipe for fucking disaster. I feel like this is going to play out exactly like that Sean O'Malley Aljo fight. BSD is going to have some control in the first round. He's going to be able to do something weird to get to the clinch, maybe get the takedown. Ruffy's going to survive, starts back in the second round. BSD is going to be feeling himself, the crowd crazy, get sloppy on an entry. Bam. There is the big shot. The other thing that I like about Ruffy as well, a lot of times when there's striker versus grappler matchups, you'll see the strikers get a little bit hesitant. They'll get a little bit frozen. And there'll be a lot of, and you saw that with Sean, honestly, in the first round of that fight. Just kind of dancing around. Same thing versus Marab. Kind of dancing around, waiting for the shot. You don't want to overextend because you're worried about the shot. This guy Ruffy's not going to be fucking worried about that shit. You don't have to worry about Ruffy coming in. And maybe that's his downfall. Maybe his overconfidence is his downfall. But the worst thing that you want, if you're a Ruffy bettor or a Ruffy backer, is this guy to take his time around the fence, never look for that big shot, keep waiting for the takedowns, then the takedown comes, then you're not really timed up because you haven't really been throwing stuff, then you get taken down, then the second round starts, then you're like, oh God, I don't have my timing still. This guy Ruffy's going to probably come forward, throw shit early. You don't have to worry about him just sitting and waiting, and that's why I like Ruffy a lot in this spot. He's going to meet fire with fire, and BSD, to his credit, tough son of a bitch, but he will kind of throw down at times. He's not all in on the... Now, he's got coaching now, and he probably is going to be all in on the wrestling, but typically, French crowds me crazy. He wants a knockout as well. He throws heavy. I like Ruffy to find that shot, like most of the people. I'm playing him. We'll see how it plays out. Main event time, we got Kyle Borralho versus Nasruddin Imavov. And I did this probably as most people, because I know most people, especially the people that are on the Imavov side, haven't watched anything. They just remember what they remember. Imavov knocked out Izzy. Imavov's doing this. Imavov's doing that. And they're just like, oh my God, Imavov plus money, free money. Imavov as an underdog, free money, lock it in. This guy Kyle hasn't fought anybody. He's no good. He struggled against this. Just give me Imavov, and they haven't looked into the brass tacks. And that's what I did. I saw this matchup was announced. I was like, oh yeah, Imavov. Just from the back of my mind, just from what I remember about fights, give me Imavov. The odds open. I see Imavov as a dog, and I'm like, oh, lock of the week. Lock it in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But then I said, you know, let me do my due diligence. Let me start watching film. Let me see how these guys fight. See who struggles with what. Number one, Imavov doesn't really like fighting at range. Doesn't really like fighting at range. You saw that with Izzy. You saw that in a couple fights. Not a lot of fights, but against Izzy was kind of just touching him up. And Imavov started really forcing takedowns to try to close that distance because he did not like the range at which Izzy was fighting at. Now, people are going to be like, oh, he knocked it. Who cares? He knocked him out. Fine. Okay? Izzy got a little bit over aggressive, got knocked out. It is what it is. This guy, Kaio, two things. Fights at range. If you guys don't know Kaio, he's got the karate style, fights at range. The biggest thing, and I think that the point that a lot of people are missing in this fight, and I could be wrong about this, and we'll see how it plays out. People are going to say that Kaio or Imavov, they both need to put on a good performance to be able to leapfrog the winner of Fluffy and RDR to be able to get the title shot versus Chimaev. And that probably is right. But I'm telling you right now, Kaio does not give a fuck. He does not give a fuck. The biggest point, the second point, but the biggest point about this fight is Kaio fights at range. That was point one. And point two, he will be boring as fuck and not give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. Kaio Borralho, I promise you, will stay at range and karate fight and frustrate Imavov for 25 straight fucking minutes if it means he's going to get the win. He doesn't care about putting on a performance. If Imavov starts wrestling and they start grappling, yeah, Borralho might start taking some more chances on the ground because he should be the better, like, jiu-jitsu type of guy. But in the striking, this guy knows he's not going to get interior and box with Imavov. Imavov wants to get in the boxing. And if Kaio does, for whatever reason, change up his game plan and wants to get inside and box with Imavov, Imavov's going to win that fight. But Imavov isn't great at range. He wants to interior box. Kaio Borralho fights at range, karate stance, outside leg kicks, darting in and out for 25 minutes. This just feels like everyone's going to be watching the fight, betting on Imavov, getting trapped in that plus money line, waiting for these big exchanges, and then the second and third round are going to go past, and they're going to be like, what the fuck? Why is Kaio's going to lose it? He doesn't give a fuck. He does not give a fuck to put on a good performance. It's about just stacking wins. The guy's 17-1. If you just keep fucking winning, you keep getting paid, and you're gonna get your title shot eventually anyway. He doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna stay on the outside. He's gonna bounce around. Imavov's gonna get frustrated, shoot some takedowns, force some takedowns from the outside. We'll see if Kaio either counter wrestles and tries to with the jiu-jitsu, or if he just defends, gets back to space. People are really underestimating Kaio's ability to be fucking boring, to fucking win. And as long as he doesn't get in the interior box with a guy like Imavov, he's better from the outside. He can hold his own in the wrestling, and obviously I think he's the better overall grappler as well. That's why Kaio Borralho is the favorite at minus 130, whatever it is. He's going to be my pick. I was all over Imavov until I started watching. I'm like, oh my God, Imavov really doesn't like fighting at range. And that's exactly what Kaio does. He's going to be boring for 25 minutes. We're going to be sitting there being like, oh my God, this fight was terrible. He's never going to get a title shot. If he keeps winning, he's going to get it no matter what. I'm telling you that. Kaio's going to be the pick. Thank you guys so much for watching this full card breakdown. Make sure you go to we1picks.com. Become a premium member today. We're going to keep the ball rolling. Like the video, subscribe if you are new. My name is Jacob, a.k.a. The Freckle Sound Man. I'm out.